No, you're not gonna clap, Anthony? Okay, pussy farts.
Tyler's gonna click his pen.
Yeah, yeah. Get it out. Get it out right now. Okay, thank you. Man, I don't even know how to start this.
Oh, Rusty.
Fuck. It's been like 2 weeks. Okay. On your marks, get set, go. Welcome to podcasts that we do. Okay, no.
Is that the intro?
That's not the good, Michael. Try again. Try one more time.
Okay. This is the average bros.
No, Michael, cut it. I want to see more authenticity. I want to see more raw emotion, Michael.
Okay. This is the average browns.
No, Michael, come on. This is shit. This intro is shit. I want to see great
Let me
intro.
Let me do it again.
Great experience.
Yeah, what do you want? Better?
I want to see
get
great
better.
experience.
You gotta put your back
intro.
into it.
Okay. Welcome to Average Bros podcast. We are going to talk about football. Not one with kicking balls, but different types. They kick the ball sometimes, but fuck, it look like egg. Who got the kind of ball is this? I don't know.
Yes,
Like
Michael, I like this intro. This intro is very good. Great experience.
Oh, great experience. Okay, welcome to Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast, where we talk about fantasy football.
Wee!
Yay, today we're going to go over the Thursday night game. Wow, interesting. A lot of points for some high defenses. What the fuck? Big defenses. Anyways, we're going to go over the Thursday night matchup. Then we're going to go over the first 8 games for Sunday. It's all the 10 a.m. games, Pacific Standard Time or Eastern Time. It's going to be 1 o'clock. Anything you guys want? Let's just get right into.
Let's just jump right into it. It's been a minute since we've been on. We got life is busy. Caught up in doing some other stuff.
It was our birthdays as well.
It was our birthdays, yeah. So we're drinking a little bit, partying, but we're back trying to get stay on this better than we have been in the last couple weeks. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. Let's get into these matchups. We're talking about Thursday night game, right? It's crazy. I mean, these defenses are supposed to be.
It's supposed to be
two of the best defenses in the league, and you just have these quarterbacks throwing for to Goff threw for 400 and some yards, 5 touchdowns. Yeah.
Cooper Kupp has the most touchdowns he's ever had in a game.
The Vikings couldn't score against the Bills last week, and then they come out and just put up 31 points on the board.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Just shows you how football week to week is. No matter what people say, we have no idea what the hell's going to happen.
It just shows you football's rigged. That's what it shows.
In your
you.
opinion, maybe.
But I mean, I guess it showed you right there that every week you should feel confident starting the Rams receivers because I mean every week they can go out and they can get it done.
Like almost even what's his name? Oh no, that was on in Minnesota. But I was gonna say Robinson, but that was.
It's kind of like a fluke.
No, right? No, that was definitely a fluke.
For him.
But
they kind of
But my point was every receiver in LA did pretty well. What is that? Cooper Kupp had a good amount of points. Robert Woods had a pretty good game.
Yeah, they're using all 3 of these receivers. They're not really even using a tight end. It's kind of what you see with the Lions too. Is they use 3 receivers, and one of those receivers ends up taking the tight end targets. So you can play. The way I'm viewing it is you can play all 3 of these guys because. If you were to view 2 of them as the wide receivers and the third one as the tight end, these targets that we're going to the tight ends are going to the 3 wide sets, and they're basically all 3 of them are on the field nonstop. So, I mean, you can play all 3 of these guys every week and feel confident about it.
Yeah, these guys need to be in your lineup.
If you have a Rams offensive player, play him. Even Brandon Cooks had a touchdown when I think, right?
They're just all 3 of them. Put them in your lineups. Yeah. Just so. On the flip side, receivers for the Vikings, Diggs and Thielen, they did what they do.
They just
Thielen
keep doing
got
their
hyper targeted. It was
crazy. Both of them.
So
Even
did
Diggs.
Diggs.
Diggs had 17, 18 targets, something crazy. I don't even know. It was up there. The storyline with that was Dalvin Cook. They said he was okay. He had the hamstring injury. They said he was going to be good to go. I think he was in there for the first drive or 2, and then he's sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I know in the second half, we were watching the game. I don't know if he took a snap in the second half. It probably was something that, they said he's healthy, but, for him to not be out there and then putting Rock Thomas out there and Murray in passing situations, that kind of caught the eye to where he's supposed to be their best catching back and probably is, and he's not on the field, so that's a little worrisome. So, you'll have to check the injury report with him and see what happens this week. He has a long week to heal up because he gets the Thursday night game. So
hamstring is one of those tricky injuries that they'll do stuff like that, just pull you out to save you.
Yeah, it just sucks because I mean, if you drafted Dalvin Cook, you probably spent a second or third round pick on him, and if you found out he was playing, you most likely played him tonight, and he burned you 2 points I think he got. So that's just one of those reasons why I kind of personally stayed away from him. I wasn't sure how they were going to use him, if they're going to have him a pitch count coming back from the ACL injury. I mean, I think he had one good game, but besides that, he's kind of been just all over the place, right? So
yeah,
consistent.
I mean, he was on the field. Sorry, Mike. For a high snap percentage for the series when he was actually in. I think the thing is you're just gonna have to wait it out until he's 100% healthy, because he is on their borderline every snap when he was on the field for those series. But then once they started pulling him, and you got to believe there's something with the hamstring if he's not out there, but. I think once he gets back healthy, he'll be a high snap, high percentage type of guy. But with that hamstring, we don't know if it's going to be a week, 2, if it's going to keep flaring up. So, I mean, if you have Dalvin Cook at this point, you're disappointed, and you're just going to have to ride the storm or try and trade him off some name value and see what you can get.
For sure. So Kyle Rudolph, the tight end. I have Rudolph in a couple leagues, and I was just telling you when we were watching the game, he's not the sexiest player. I'm not excited to throw him out there, even though I like him.
I think he would have had a
he's
touchdown
consistently putting up points. I think he's put up.
I was ready for him to have
like
a
8 or
touchdown
more
on that
points
last
in every
drive.
single game. So for tight end, that's pretty. That's pretty solid, actually. So, yeah. All right, let's jump into these.
Let's
these
go,
matchups.
Let's go right into the first game Sunday morning. We got New England in Foxborough against your boys, the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, fucking okay. First of all, we just talk about Tom Brady here.
Okay,
He's fucking
Jesus.
start him up, dial him up,
Dude,
write him up,
Do you?
charge him up.
Dude, I watched this. Sorry, this is a total tangent, really quick, but I watched this documentary about. It was a YouTube video, but it was about Bill Belichick and how he's just trying to fuck that team up before he leaves.
Good, I hope so.
And how he wants them to be terrible and only stuck with Tom Brady. I don't know. It was actually a really good YouTube video. It was pretty interesting.
Nice. You have to send me the link so I can watch it. Because
I'll send
anything
you that
about the
link,
Patriots being shitty gets my dick
It was
hard.
pretty crazy. But anyways, let's go right in.
Start with the Patriots.
Tom Brady. Okay.
Tom
sure,
Brady,
Brady.
I mean, he generally in New England we're Dolphin fans. He has success against Miami and New England. I know he's off to a slow start, and Josh Gordon, if he's on the field, I think it's going to help his ceiling there. It just takes away pressure from Gronk. Even if Gordon's out there just running, post streaks, hey, run a slant, run this, it's just going to help that offense. So with him out there, I think that'll help the ceiling of Brady. Gronk, I know he's been a litof disappointed, but kind of what I just said is if Gordon's out there, they're not going to be able to double team him like they have been the last 2 weeks. They've literally had 2 guys at the line just pressing Gronk. They're going to make adjustments. I'm sure they'll be moving Gronk around.
Well, that was also their old coordinator as the head coach of the
Well, the
Lions,
Jaguars
too.
did the same exact thing the week before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Gordon's not out there, Miami might even follow the same game plan. I mean, even with Gordon out there, Miami might do the same thing. So, when they get Edelman back too, it's really going to help take a lot of pressure off of Gronk. So, but I think you're starting Tom Brady in this matchup. We're Dolphins fans, and I think you play him.
Yeah, I think for sure you got to start Tom Brady. Gronk would be I'm trying to trade for Gronk if I can. If anyone's panicking and thinking Gronk sucks, he's had 2 bad games back to back. I would definitely try to go get Gronk if I could. Because do you think when Josh Gordon comes back and Edelman's on the field, those are just more weapons that the defense is going to have to pay attention to, and they're not going to be able to just double team Gronk. I mean, right now it's Hogan, Gronk, and Dorsett. And as much as we think Hogan's good, he's not a true number 1. So if you put a good corner on him, they're pretty much going to lock him up. And Dorsett's nobody.
And Chris Hogan is he's like lining up in the slot now, and he's just not used to that.
Yeah.
And
So, I mean, I saw this crazy stat on the Dolphins saying how we have one of the best passer ratings against quarterbacks this year. So you might see that and be maybe afraid to start Brady. But then we've also played against Mariota, Derek Carr, and
hurt
Sam
Mariota
Darnold.
as well.
Yeah, and hurt Mariota. So we haven't played against any great quarterbacks yet. It's in Foxborough. They need to win this game. Dial up Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Gronk, you're playing him.
Receivers, what do you think about Gordon, Hogan, one of those 2?
Gordon, it just depends. I kind of need to see it first from Gordon before I can throw him out there. Because I hate to throw him in my lineup and he gives me a goose egg. It's like the Dalvin Cook thing. I hate to throw him out there and he puts up a thing. If he goes out there and he catches I want to see how many targets he's getting. Is he gets 1 catch for 40 yards and a touchdown, but he only gets 3 targets, or is he getting 8 to 10 targets? That's something I would rather just want to see before I actually throw him out there. But
I think he's just someone where if you need some upside, like if you just played against Cooper Kupp and Adam Thielen, and you need a receiver that has some high upside, let's just say you don't have the options that have a high ceiling. I mean, he came off not playing football for 3 years and basically torched Verrett last year, who was one of the best, who was graded the best corner in the NFL. So I think there's the chance of him literally just being an athletic freak and going out there and having a high upside game. If you have good options, I'd probably, like Tyler said, wait a week and see what happens. But if you need to swing for the fences, and if anyone can get 150 and 2, it's Tom Brady throwing to Josh Gordon and just saying, hey, run a post, run a streak, and go out there and I'll hit you.
So you're playing Josh Gordon.
I need the upside. So in one league, I'm gonna be starting him just because, like I said, he came off the streets and literally torched Verrett, who was the #1 rated quarter last year. So he's that athletic still. And I mean, yeah, he might give me 3, but it wouldn't surprise me if he also went for 120, 130, and 2. So
Right.
I get what you said. I agree with that. As far as Hogan goes, I'm probably sitting him on the bench. I mean, I don't know. It just depends on how your roster's built. Like, you have depth, maybe a flex play at best.
Yeah, standard. I think he's gotten in the end zone a couple times, so he's not seeing a high target volume. So I think in a standard, you could flex him in a standard, but PPR. I think he's just struggling without having other weapons out there. He's the #1. The defenses are, treating him like the #1. He's kind of having some issues with that.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's go over to the running backs for New England.
Yeah. And so Burkhead, Rex Burkhead, he's on the IR.
He gone.
Yep.
He gone.
He gone.
Yep.
So this kind of opens the door for Sony Michel to maybe take over. I mean, they drafted him in the first round.
I thought he looked good last week. I think the game script wasn't right.
Yeah, and he's still a rookie. He just got his first game. The game moves fast. There's always, some rookies come out and they hit the ground running. Other ones, they take a little while to adjust to, the league and the game speed. But without Burkhead, he's going to see, James White isn't going to have, 10, 15 carries in these games. It's basically just Michelle and James White, and I feel comfortable actually starting both of them.
Yeah, I like both these guys. Actually, James White is low-key been sneaky good. I think he's like top 15. He's gotten 13, 14-plus points every single week. So Miami, we typically struggle against pass-catching running backs. I think we've given up already 22 catches to running backs, which is among the most in the league. So I would feel comfortable starting both these guys up. Michelle's a guy me and you both like to try to trade for the rest of season-wise.
Yeah, I've been trying to get him. I mean, I think what Deion Lewis did last year when it was just him and James White, he was a weekly top 15 play, and, you kind of have the same scenario. Maybe Deion Lewis might be a better back for, all we know, because Sony Michel's still a rookie. The book's not out yet, but, there's that top 12 upside there. It's New England offense. When they get inside the 5, they don't play around. And they generally run it in by the goal line. So let's move over to Miami. Ryan Tannehill, I think, is a pretty good streaming option this week.
I like Tannehill streaming him this week. If the Patriots come out and score some points, I think we're going to have to. I saw another stat. It was the last 4 games Tannehill's played against the Patriots. He's thrown for 300-plus yards in the last 4 games. So the yardage should be there if that trend continues. As far as receivers go for us, I mean, like I said, we're Dolphin fans, and
it's a carousel.
We're biased. I mean, our offense looks so good. It's weird. Like we just, we're biased.
So good,
I just said we're biased.
But you guys, you're the way you feel about your offense is the opposite way I feel about our defense. I say it with the same emotion. Our fucking defense is shite, dude.
I mean, it's an offense that's clicking on all cylinders. I think that's what Tyler's getting at. This is an offense where, we're making big plays. We're, scoring 50-yard touchdowns. Where, Tannehill's connecting on the deep ball to Stills. You think Miami, you think a crappy offense for the most part, but Tannehill over his last 11 starts is 10-11. Under Gase.
10-1.
Or 10-1, yeah. 10-11 wins. Yeah. So this is an offense that just, it's not funneling through Landry anymore. And it's just a more explosive offense. There's speed out there. I mean, if you're any kind of the reason I'm starting Tannehill as a streamer in one league is because I get bonuses.
And Tannehill's only owned in 29% of leagues, so he's most likely going to be there for you guys.
Sure. Yeah, if you need a streamer,
especially if you have someone like, I don't know, I can't think of offhand.
And he runs the ball a little bit too, so he might get you 30 yards in the ground, which if you're in a 4-point league, that's basically another touchdown.
Yeah.
So
we've just realized that like he's spreading the ball out around. He's not really hyper targeting one guy. He's kind of just looking for the open man, or there's specific plays that are designed for specific players. I saw like our receivers only averaging like 4 targets a game.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
all of our receivers are averaging like 4 targets a game. So
if
it's
you
like,
look
that's
at
just not enough volume. We were talking about volume. That's just not enough volume.
Yeah, I don't really feel. I mean, if I'm going to pick one, I'd probably say Kenny Stills would be the one I would choose. But, I mean, last week, the target count, Amendola 3, Jakeem Grant 3, Stills 5, Wilson 2, Devontae Parker 3. And I think you're just going to kind of see more of that week in and week out.
Would you play Devontae Parker?
As of right now, I don't feel comfortable starting Parker.
Yeah, I mean, he's played 75% of the snaps, but he's going to get shadow coverage from Stephon Gilmore, who he's one of the better corners in the league. So I don't necessarily know if I'd play him. I mean, would it surprise me if he caught a 40-yard touchdown? You know, he mossed some guys. That's kind of what he does. He throw him the jump ball, and he just jumps over the DBs. And I mean, would I be surprised if he did that? No, but I'm not willing to take that gamble.
Yeah, you're just gambling because one of these guys is going to probably score a big touchdown, but we don't know who it's going to be.
Right.
Yeah. And then tight end, Mike Gesicki, he's still wait and see. He's still a rookie developing. Kenyon Drake, I think he's an RB2 in this matchup.
Yeah, Drake, I'm torn with him. I'm up and down with him. It's like, yeah, I see the potential and I see it's there, but then I don't know. I'm waiting for that big game for him to like break out. And he hasn't really had one of those big breakout plays either, home run plays that he had last year. He had a couple of those, 46-yard runs. He hasn't really had any of those yet. So we'll see if this week he can get it done. But I mean, yeah, if you have Drake, you're most likely going to play him, at least a flex, right?
Yeah, the running back landscape's it's thin. So if you have Drake, he's a healthy back. He's a starter. He gets a lot of the snaps. I feel like you're just flexing him at this point. All right, let's move on to the next matchup.
Yeah, let's go. We're gonna go down to the good old Indianapolis Colts inside Indianapolis.
Them Colts
versus the Houston Texans. This is it's basically a pick 'em. So
division game.
All right, let's start with the Texans.
So for let's start on the Colts because actually today I saw in one of the leagues you dropped. Because I want to bring. Because I want to bring this up.
Let's talk about the Texans.
Because I saw in one of the leagues that you dropped Andrew Luck.
Yeah, I'll put his 5 yards per pass attempt on the.
He's not throwing the ball deep
on the waiver wire.
Dude, they didn't they? They subbed him out and then they put some what's his name in just to throw the long ball. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah.
They had like a Hail Mary play. And then they pulled Andrew Luck out because he can't throw the fucking ball.
Threw Brissett in?
They threw Brissett in to make the throw.
No way, I didn't see that. That's crazy.
It was only like a 60-yard pass, too. I mean, which is far, but most NFL quarterbacks could throw 60 yards.
Yeah. So would you start Luck? Are you starting Luck?
I'm starting Luck.
I mean, I don't think he's unstartable. I think Houston's a decent matchup. I just kind of at this point, I'm viewing Luck as, it's a short bench in the league I dropped him in. It's a 6-man bench. I just think quarterback is deep. It's you could find. I personally wanted to start Andy Dalton over him this week, but someone grabbed him before me, so I chose Ryan Tannehill to start over him this week.
You put Tannehill over Andrew Luck.
I just until I see him throwing the ball downfield, it's worrisome. I mean, they don't have a run game. The defense might even start pinning their ears back and coming after Luck because they struggle to run the ball. He had 300 yards in the first game, but that was on 50-something pass attempts, and I don't want to bank on him throwing the ball 60 times every week. So as of right now, he's in that back end quarterback one streamer territory. It is where he is right now. I don't know if he's going to get back to that elite level. I mean, does he have the chance? Yeah, he does, but. In a short bench and a pinch, and I'm 1-2, so I need wins. So I'm going to go with the guy that I feel has more upside in this matchup.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Luck typically plays better at home. I think 9 of his last 11 home games, he's scored 18 or more fantasy points. So plays better at home. For me, I'm thinking that the Colts defense is not very good. Their corners and secondary is not very good. This should be a big game for Hopkins and Will Fuller.
They've been holding teams down a little bit.
If they're going to score some points. I mean, Luck could need to throw to keep up with them. So, do I love Luck? No, but if I'm starting him, I mean, I don't hate it either.
Yeah, I just don't. With Luck, I don't expect. I'm not expecting a 330 and 3 touchdown game.
No, yeah, he's not throwing.
He's not doing that right now.
I think he's still good. I think he's still good for a good 15 points or something though. I think he'll be in the end zone at least once.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has the longest streak of throwing a touchdown in a game or something stupid like that. But. I said the streaming thing, I'm kind of just chasing upsides. So
sure.
You're starting T.Y. Hilton still. He's still getting a lot of targets out there.
Yeah.
What's his name? Jack Doyle looks like he's not going to play this week, so I would start Eric Ebron in this matchup. Tight ends, he had 11 targets last week. So in tight end, if you're getting 11 targets, that's like. That's like
money.
That's like 20 targets as a receiver.
Yeah, Ebron's looked really good. I mean, he's basically a receiver in a tight end's body, so he's looked really good.
I don't really feel comfortable starting any of the running backs in this matchup.
Yeah, I wouldn't start any of the running backs. Maybe for like a flex, if you're kind of in a pinch with some of the buys, maybe some injuries, maybe Ryan Grant. He's looked kind of decent.
Yeah, he could be a receiver option. Like you said, if you think it's going to be a game script where it's going to be a shootout, there's not, I would take a flyer on Ryan Grant.
Yeah.
It's still pretty high over under. It's 47.
Yeah.
Even with Houston's defense.
All right, so on the Houston side, you're starting DeAndre Hopkins. You're starting Lamar Miller. I actually like Lamar Miller in this matchup. I think it's a pretty good matchup for him. Will Fuller at this point,
he looks good.
You're starting him 9 targets, 11 targets. It's he's seeing volume. He's making plays. He's had back-to-back 100-yard games. I've tried to trade for him actually because I think he's someone that's going to sustain like weekly wide receiver 2 value in this offense. Him and Deshaun just have a connection, and Deshaun hasn't even hit one of those big games yet. So when he has one of those big games, Will Fuller could go off for 100 plus and a touchdown or 2, and DeAndre Hopkins at the same time. All the targets are basically being funneled to these 2 guys.
Yeah, I think this is the Deshaun Watson game everyone's been waiting for. I think he comes out and he has that crazy good game. Like you said, starting Hopkins, Will Fuller, Lamar Miller. Good stat on Lamar Miller, 11 plus fantasy points in the last 5 games versus Indy. And in those 5 games, he's had either a touchdown or 90 total scrimmage yards or more in all 4 of those 5 games. So I'm a big Lamar Miller guy. So hopefully this week he comes out and just keeps that trend going.
Yeah, I think he's a solid
RB2. That's what we were saying in the when you're drafting Lamar Miller. He's not the sexy guy. He's not an RB1 that most people think, but I think he can be a consistent RB2 for the whole year. Even if he could possibly be your flex. And I think he can be just a consistent guy every week that can get you like those 10, 12 points, and then maybe he falls into the end zone twice in a game, gets you a 20-burger game.
How do you feel about Houston's defense in this game?
I like Houston's defense as a streamer. I think I wrote it down as one of the streamer Ds I had this week. J.J. Watt and Clowney, Whitney Merciless coming in. I mean, we all know that.
Clowney's so good, dude.
Yeah, we all know the Colts line isn't the best, so.
I'd say it's the top. Let's say you're in the.
And Luck throws picks. I mean,
he does.
He'll have those games where he throws 3 touchdowns, but also throw like 2 picks in those games, so.
Yeah, it's probably. I put him in the maybe 8 to 10 range as a defense. Not maybe an elite play this week, but someone where there's some bye weeks, and if your waiver wire is thin. Maybe someone picked up Green Bay for a matchup or Seattle. I don't mind playing Houston this week.
Yeah.
Next,
okay, let's go on to. We're going to talk about Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta against Cincinnati. This is a high over under right here. It's it's 53.5.
Atlanta, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to get me some Andy Dalton streaming, but someone outbid me for him and got him.
Got him.
Andy Dalton, I think. The stat, he's since Bill Lazor took over in week 3, he's 3rd in the league in touchdown passes. I know, like last year, I think he started off so terrible last year that I think the book was written that Andy Dalton is basically dead, for the year. But he's been he's finished inside the top 10 before. It seems like Tyler Boyd is turning a corner, and he's like a true number 2 receiver. He has
Tyler
AJ
Boyd's
Green,
where everybody thought John Ross would be.
yeah. Yeah, when you drafted John Ross in the 5th round, you meant Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton's a good quarterback start this week. AJ Green, you're starting. How do you feel about Tyler Boyd this week?
I like Tyler Boyd. I saw something on him. 82% of his routes are run from the slot, and then this week he plays against the 6th worst slot corner in the league. So fire him up.
So it's a nice matchup.
So it's a good matchup for him.
100%.
I think it's going to become a trend throughout the year that you're just playing everyone against the Falcons defense. I mean, they lost Ricardo Allen to an ACL. They lost Keanu Neal, and they lost another linebacker. I forget his name. He's really good. He's like their middle linebacker. So they've lost 3 key players on this defense, and I think they're just going to be giving it up. They're not very good at defending the running back either and pass catching wise. So I think Gio has a huge game, especially if Mixon's out.
Yeah, I think Gio's he's probably a back-end RB1 play in this matchup. The Atlanta Falcons struggle against pass-catching backs. I remember I mentioned that in our Week 1 matchups. And what's his name went out and I don't know. Sproles had I think 5 or 6 or 7 catches.
McCaffrey had 14 catches against them or something.
Yeah, so they tend to struggle against pass-catching backs. Tyler Eifert, do you feel okay playing him this game with such a high over-under? Is someone, maybe you throw in there for a tight end?
Yeah, because he's got that red zone potential, and like I just said, I feel like it's going to be a trend where it's like you're starting all your players against the Falcons defense because they're not going to be good. They're going to be in the bottom 5 of defenses of the league. Like they're just giving it up. So yeah, I mean, you take a flyer on him if I don't know, maybe you had Doyle and he's out, so now
maybe Jordan Reed on a bye.
Jordan Reed's on a bye. I mean, maybe you lost Delaney or Olsen, you're searching for someone. I mean, he's obviously got the talent. He's done it before. He's a big body red zone guy. So all it takes is one catch in the end zone. He pays off for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you get you 5 for 50 and a touchdown, you're more than happy with
that.
For
sure. Yeah, no,
that's like a top 5 tight end.
I was actually trying to pick him up in one of these leagues, but I didn't bid enough fab on him. So I was kind of mad at myself. I kind of wish I would have bid
more fab, huh? Put more fab on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the Falcons side, I mean, you're starting Julio Jones. You're starting Tevin Coleman. He's probably a top 15, 20 play in this matchup. Matt Ryan, you're firing up. I mean, since week 1, he's been on fire. And he's going to have to throw a ton because, like Tyler just said, that defense is so bad, and it's the other teams are going to score on them, and they're starting to score at will too. The addition of Calvin Ridley, I think, is going to help the whole offense. It's going to help Julio Jones. Like relieve some pressure off of him as well.
And if you're nervous about Cincinnati's defense, I mean, didn't Joe Flacco did pretty decent against them? What on that Thursday night game?
Yeah, they're a decent defense. Vontaze Burfict is still out, and that's like one of their best players. But yeah, you can throw on this, and like Anthony was just saying, like their defense is gonna be bad, so they're gonna have to be throwing a ton to keep up. I feel like in these games, and that's Calvin Ridley, you're starting him. Julio Jones. I actually did a trade this week. I traded Kareem Hunt for Julio Jones, just because I feel like they're going to have to be throwing the ball a ton.
Right,
and I think Julio Jones could end up leading the league in receiving yards.
Real quick, what would you play? Calvin Ridley, Mike Williams?
Oh, it's close.
I think they're both. Who does the Chargers play again?
Playing San
Francisco. I mean,
I think I'd go Calvin Ridley just because if for some reason the Chargers are up, they might have to throw the ball as much.
Yeah.
So maybe they
just a thought.
That one's tough. They'd be ranked probably like neck and neck with each other.
Yeah, I think they're both like wide receiver 3s in their matchups respectively. Mike Williams has shown a nose for the end zone in multiple weeks. Calvin Ridley had a huge week last week with 3 touchdowns, as many as Julio Jones all last year, and 3 weeks this year. Yeah. But that's tough between those two. I'd probably have them neck and neck.
Yeah.
Maybe like Tyler said, I'd lean Calvin Ridley because San Francisco they just lost Jimmy G, so this could be more of a Melvin Gordon game.
Right.
Maybe even get Keenan Allen going a little more in that matchup.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to touch on?
Austin Hooper.
Austin Hooper. Fat little boy, dude. He's the most unathletic looking tight end, I think.
Yeah, I'm not starting the pooper.
Yeah, I mean, some people are thin at tight end.
Watch him have fucking 2 touchdowns in like 80 yards.
Yeah, I mean it's pegged to be like one of the highest scoring games out of all the matchups. So I mean, if you figure a lot of points, you figure targets are going to go somewhere. If you just want a tight end who can maybe get you 4 or 5 catches with something decent, then I wouldn't mind just because there's going to be so many points going by in this game. Maybe he falls into the end zone, you get lucky. So
yeah.
Okay, let's go move on to Green Bay Packers versus the Buffalo. Oh my God, we just beat Minnesota Bills.
Oh, you're starting all the Bills in this matchup. And by all, I mean maybe Kelvin
6 foot Groot.
6 foot Groot. I think the only Bill you're really considering is LaShawn McCoy if he's healthy. Even with him, it's he's got that rib injury, so it's something where he could be out there and they could get down kind of quick in this game, and maybe he injures his rib a little bit, and he's kind of a roll of the dice with that rib injury, especially in a Green Bay game that if Green Bay figures to probably take the lead pretty quick in this game. It's NFL, we don't know, but I'm kind of not excited, but excited in the sense of to see LaShawn McCoy with Josh Allen versus when he was with Nathan Peterman.
With the human sacrifice, Nathan Peterman.
I mean, if Peterman's going to be able to move the ball and get some points here and there, I think it helps Shady's outlook because those first 2 weeks were so bad for him. He was not even getting targets. They weren't moving the ball. So, let's see what happens this week. But I think he's a flex play.
Yeah. So I'm asking for a friend. You wouldn't start Kelvin Benjamin?
Dude, I have in that league. It's a 3 wide receiver league. I have on my bench. I have Kelvin Benjamin, Mike Williams, Calvin Ridley, and I bench Cooper Kupp.
I think you could take a flyer on Kelvin Benjamin.
It's terrible, Mike. You do this podcast, and this is what you do.
I know.
I just don't know what his true upside is. You know,
My thought process is this: I have McCaffrey on a bye, Mixon's banged up. I need a flex guy, and I don't really know who to put in there. I have Devontae Parker. I thought about him, but I'm not really, like I said, I'm not really sold that Miami's kind of spreading the ball around. Kelvin Benjamin was on the waiver wire, so I swooped him up. I'm just thinking it's in Green Bay. The Packers need a win, so maybe they come out and they put up some points, and the Bills are in catch-up mode. You know, I know Kelvin Benjamin's led the team in targets, and he, like you said, he's 6-foot Groot. He's the red zone target. They don't have a tight end, so I'm just thinking. I mean, can it get me like 4 for 50 and a touchdown possibly? I'm kind of I think I'm going to take a flyer on him. We'll see.
I mean, it doesn't hurt. He's the number one option, you know, and he has a red zone option.
Who do you have? Who else would you play in that spot?
There's a couple people I'm looking at. Like I'm looking at D.D. Westbrook maybe, Kelvin Benjamin, Devontae Parker, Brandon Marshall. I like Brandon Marshall, but then Doug Baldwin's coming back, so I think that kind of limits his upside.
I like Kelvin there.
Kelvin Benjamin, like you said, he's the one at least. So taking a shot, I think, in the flex.
Yeah, it's not the worst shot as a flex.
Just the game script. I'm looking at the game script standpoint of them being down and needing to catch up because I think Rodgers comes out and he just lights them up. And the Bills' defense is not what everyone thinks they are playing against the Vikings. They're not good at all. The Bills' defense is not good. So Rodgers is going to come and put 35 points out probably. They're going to be playing catch up. I'm thinking that, it's a good game script is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, in the preseason, he seemed to favor him. So, I mean, maybe maybe they get a connection going. I don't mind it as a flex play. I'd probably look otherwhere as receivers, but, I don't mind that. The narrative is definitely there for him to have a decent game for sure.
Yeah.
Let's move over to Green Bay, yeah?
Green Bay, yeah. You're starting Aaron Rodgers for sure. Rodgers.
Obviously.
I do wonder, though, if Rodgers' ceiling is super high in this game with his knee. I wonder if this is a game where maybe they try and get a little bit more Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, get the running game going in this. And, if they get out to a big lead in the first half, if they rest that knee. So obviously you're starting Rodgers, but, I think his ceiling could be, maybe 2-3 quarters of a game if this game is a blowout.
Yeah. You're starting him. Devontae Adams catching a touchdown every game so far. So you're starting him.
I actually like Geronimo Allison this week. Randall Cobb's banged up. Like we said they should relatively put up some points. I think he has double-digit points in his first 3 games. And if Randall Cobb's out, he's going to be the 2. And Rodgers, always supports 2 wide receivers. Yeah. So I think he could be a decent flex play. Would you start Geronimo Allison or Kelvin Benjamin?
I'd put Geronimo Allison.
Yeah, that's kind of. I could put them both in the same range, but like we're saying, he's a flex play.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that.
Lined up in my flex.
I didn't know that Cobb was hurt, but I saw a stat for him. Slot receivers versus Buffalo, they're just not good. They're not good at. Buffalo's not good at defending the slot, so I think they're like bottom 5 in the league at this defending the slot receiver. So if Cobb does play, could be a good game for Cobb here. At least like a flex consideration.
Do you like Packers defense here?
Yeah, I think they're a good top 10 streaming option this week.
Yeah, if you're gonna stream a defense, I like the Packers. We picked up the Packers in the defense.
Yeah, I think I picked up the Packers in like 3 leagues.
Yeah,
or Seattle. Those are my 2 streaming defense I picked up.
Like I said, that game last week was just proof that the NFL is rigged. So,
Jimmy Graham, you starting him?
Yeah,
you're starting Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, I think you're starting all the Packers pretty much. I don't know about Jamal Williams. I've never been a big Jamal Williams guy. I think Aaron Jones could be the guy. Like I think Aaron Jones is the guy he ends up taking over as the year progresses.
I think it's as of right now, it's just a 3-headed monster. So it's kind of a
when
mess.
Ty Montgomery was the one-headed monster there.
Yeah, he was a monster for a few weeks last year.
Oh my god, I loved it last year.
All right, next.
Okay, let's go on to let's move on to the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas no receiver Cowboys in Dallas against the Detroit Lions.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Who do you want to start? Let's start on.
Shout out to Kerryon Johnson first.
Dude,
let's just do that.
The way to go, bro! You got 100 yards.
5 years, dog.
Oh my!
Over 100 yards.
Did you hear the crowd when he got that 100-yard run? Everyone just started like cheering.
Yeah.
He's like looking around.
They were like, take him out the game so he doesn't lose the yard on the next play.
Could you imagine? He gets 99 yards. That'd be funny.
So we'll start with the Lions then. Matthew Stafford. Wait, who are we playing? Who's the Lions playing again?
Dallas.
Dallas. I mean, Dallas' defense has actually been kind of decent. But, Matthew Stafford's been, just throwing the ball a ton. I'm comfortable starting Stafford in this matchup. I think you could fire up all three receivers. How would you rank the three between Tate, Galladay, and Jones if you had to rank those three?
PPR?
Yeah, we'll do half PPR.
We'll do half point
Tate,
PPR.
Galladay, Jones.
I'd probably say Tate, Galladay, and Jones. But Galladay is right there on Tate's end. Like, he's just good. That guy looks...
I think as the year
physically and athletically wise, he's better than both those other guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I do it Tate, Galladay, and Jones. But like you said, they're neck and neck, Galladay and Jones to me.
Galladay has the touchdown upside.
Galladay and Tate, you mean?
Galladay and Jones touchdown upside, you mean? Or Tate?
No, I think Galladay has the touchdown upside. Tate is like the safer floor with PPR wise.
Yeah, Tate's just going to see the highest target volume guarantee. Or not guarantee, but for the most part, he's going to see the higher targets of the three. Galladay and Jones are kind of more of the red zone threats. But they're using Galladay a little bit more underneath, where Marvin Jones has kind of more just been a little bit more of like a deep ball guy.
Yeah.
But him and Stafford have just missed on a few, so it wouldn't surprise me if Marvin Jones has the biggest game of the three. It's kind of like we were just saying with the Rams. Like these three guys every week in and out, week in, week out, are gonna be 6, 7, 8+ targets at all three of them. So if you have all three of them, you could feel comfortable starting all three.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the tight end has 9 targets in 3 weeks.
Yeah, they like I said, they don't throw the ball to the tight end at all. So,
and then we'll move over to the running back, Kerryon Johnson. First 100-yard rusher in 5 years. I think he's a flex play at this point. LeGarrette Blount is still there. Theo Riddick's still there. It was nice to see him get that workload, but LeGarrette Blount did also still get 15 carries himself. So
yeah, he's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. So I wouldn't trust him with like this. I wouldn't expect like 25 carries from Kerryon Johnson and LeGarrette Blount and Theo Riddick with 2. I think he's a flex play at this point right now.
Yeah, I think Theo Riddick too is someone like when they're losing, he's on the field, and that whole game against the Patriots, they were winning the whole game. So Theo Riddick didn't really see as much run as he normally does when they're behind. Just a good stat for Kerryon Johnson owners. Sean Lee, the middle linebacker for Dallas, when he's in the game, they average 3.5 yards per carry that the defense gives up. But he's not going to be playing on Sunday. So when he's out of the game, that number jumps up to 4.9 yards per carry. So they should be able to run on them more effectively with Sean Lee out of the game. So I like Kerryon. I think he's a good flex guy.
Yeah, I think eventually he'll work his way into RB2 territory. But as of right now, let's wait and see, more of what he shows us in the game plan is.
Yeah.
Maybe they're down in the game. We got to see how, they're going to use him forward. He's easily the most explosive back out of the two. When you watch the game and watch those three, there's a difference with him for sure. So, I feel comfortable with him as a flex, and maybe he works his way into RB2 as the weeks go on.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Dallas, Zeke.
And that's it. Let's just move on.
Let's just move on. I was going to say the same thing.
Zeke and move
It's just
on.
Zeke and move on.
Fuck, dude.
You need to start neither of these defenses.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable with either of them.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, Zeke, move on.
What about the Dak attack, dude?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
The Dak attack is whack.
Dak attack, more like fucking whack attack, bro. That boy fucking sucks, baby. Anyways, dude, have you ever seen those memes? Like all these people like roasting Tony Romo, trying to have him sign Dak Prescott jerseys as he's leaving the stadium, like when before he retired.
Really?
And they're like all these lines or all these Cowboys fans just to now have a quarterback that can't throw the ball 10 fucking yards, like giving roasting his ass. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude,
Tony
watch out,
Romo's a
dude.
mean ass announcer, by the way. The fool knows everything.
That for real.
He's not announcing still or what?
Yeah, he's still on the.
Jason Witten is now too.
He's on one of the networks still. I heard him.
This fool Romo should be a defensive coordinator, bro. He'll
for
come out there, he'll be like, hey, he's gonna X, Y, and Z over here. He's gonna zigzag in motion, and he's gonna hit him in the fucking post corner over here.
And then
it's
all
like,
of a sudden, that happens, and then everybody has a boner, dude.
all right, next match.
Okay. Next match?
Okay, let's move on to
You talk about your boners.
Jacksonville versus the New York Jets.
Saxonville?
It's in Jacksonville. This is a very low. This is I think this is the lowest of the day.
So I think this is the
30.5
death of
over
Sam
under.
Darnold.
You think so?
Sam Darnold's just not good. I personally just don't think he's good. I watched him at USC. He just wasn't good in USC. I get it. Maybe he has all the tools and the talent potential, but like you're on the road in Jacksonville against one of the best defenses in the league. I'm worried for them.
So you're starting Sam Darnold, is what you're saying?
Yes, fire him up.
All right.
This is the game where I feel like last week the Jags lost. Again, showing the NFL's rigged. And then now they're going to come in, they're minus like 8 like they were last week. Maybe people won't bet them, but I'm going to bet the Jags minus 8 this week because I think they just fucking shellac the Jets.
Do you, I mean, Quincy Enunwa, I think, is the only wide receiver you feel. He's been a wide receiver too, but I think in this matchup, you got to look at him as more of a flex play. He is in the slot, so that does help him. I don't think he has a very high ceiling in this game versus Jacksonville, but, if you're in a PPR league, I'd feel okay flexing him. And then, do you feel any other receivers? Robbie Anderson? No.
No. Anu was the only receiver on this team.
Yeah, I mean, he might see 8 to 10 targets. They might not be quality targets because he might be covered tight.
Yeah.
But, with 8 to 10 targets, he might be able to get you 5 for 60-something like that. The running backs in this game, how do you feel about the backs?
How about Crowell?
It's ugly. I got to start Crowell in one league because I have Mixon who's hurt and McCaffrey's on a bye, so I had to scrounge the waiver wire. He was there. I'm kind of just hoping they get close and maybe he falls into the end zone. They're behind. They're probably going to be behind. So him and Powell, they're splitting like 50-50, But but the thing is, when they get close, Crowell has 4 carries inside the 10-yard line. Below Powell has 0 carries inside the 10-yard line. So when they get close, they're giving it to Crowell. So I'm kind of just hoping maybe they get down there, they give him the ball, he could fall into the end zone. So maybe get me 8 to 10 points or so. I don't even know.
I think they're more of desperate RB2. Like we said, where you have a running back on
maybe
a bye.
like a low-end flex.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe you have like a Joe Mixon and you have AP on a bye and you just need an RB2 where, okay, I know he's going to be on the field and at least I'm not going to get a 0. I feel like that's the range where you got to look at these guys this week.
Yeah.
And then let's move over to the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're starting that defense, that's for sure, if you have them. Blake Bortles, what do you feel about the Bortles in this matchup? Do you think he's a streaming option this week? I mean, I felt like he was a streaming option last week, and then he let everyone down with Leonard Fournette. So,
no, I don't think so because I think this could be a game where I think this is a Fournette game. I think finally everyone's gonna. You spent a first-round pick on Fournette most likely. You haven't reaped any benefits from it. I think this is the game that Fournette comes out, and finally the Jets give up the 10th most points to running backs. So. Like we are just saying, they should be up. I think you see a heavy amount of Fournette as long as his hamstring or whatever it is, his vagina is okay.
His moon's over hammy.
Yeah.
What about the receivers, D.D. Westbrook or Keelan Cole? How do you feel about these guys?
So I was mentioning earlier that I might stream D.D. over Kelvin Benjamin. It's because I saw this crazy stat. So the outside receivers, the Jets allow the 4th fewest points to outside receivers, and that's where Keelan Cole and Dante Moncrief line up. But they allow the 2nd most points to slot receivers, and that's where D.D. lines up. So I've been reading a lot of things about Keelan Cole saying that he's just been too up and down, and then after seeing that stat, the 4th fewest points to outside receivers, I'm probably fading Cole and Moncrief, and like I said, I might take a flyer on Westbrook this week.
Yeah, I think the Jets actually do have a decent defense.
Yeah.
So I don't see this being a massive point total. I like Keelan Cole. I think he's going to be the one there overall when the season goes. But like you said, I could see this being more of a rushing matchup, more of like a, let's feed Leonard Fournette 25 times, get TJ Yeldon or Grant involved too. And I don't see it really being a high passing volume game. I'd look at those two as, maybe flex plays if you want to flex them if you're in a pinch.
Yeah, they're like a dart throw desperation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it if I had to, but I mean, maybe you have to. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Crowell thing. I don't like it, but I have to.
Yeah.
You just don't like. I feel like you don't like Crowell. Like you like him, but don't.
No, I love Crowell. I wrote a little article on him, and I mean, he's got 4 touchdowns in 3 games. I mean, granted, he's not putting up the biggest yardage total, but it's like I said, when they're getting close,
he's finding that end zone. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, I mean, he's got more touchdowns in 3 games than he did last year in 16 games with the Browns. So it just shows you like they're using him. They went to go get him for a reason.
So you're saying that the player that left the Browns is better than when he was on the Browns? Wild, dude.
Browns, bro.
Browns, bro. Okay, let's move on to the Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
All right, Chicago Bears versus Tampa Bay.
The Tampa Bay Fitzmagics.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Welcome to Pittsburgh. See that sign?
No.
So are you starting the number 1 overall quarterback this week?
For sure, I'm starting Fitz. I've saw a couple things where they were saying sit him, and I'm like, how can you sit him? He's thrown for 400 yards,
Every
3
game.
straight games. And granted, it's in Chicago, right?
I think I'm going to disagree.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
in
I'm going to bench
Chicago.
Fitzpatrick. I'm probably going to drop him actually.
And it's just, I mean,
I don't
in
know,
Chicago, tough defense. I get it, but how do you sit him?
because Chicago hasn't given up. I had the stat. I lost it. I believe it's over like 8 at home, like over 18 or 16 points to a quarterback in like their last since last year. They're basically at home. They are one of the toughest defenses for quarterbacks to play, and they've even played Aaron Rodgers and held him in check at home. You saw a little bit of the pick magic pop back up last week. This defense is getting sacks or getting after people. I just think he's gonna have a really tough time with Chicago at home. I mean, I don't necessarily say bench him, but I wouldn't put him into the side of my top 8-10 options this week.
So you'd feel more comfortable like Tannehill, Andrew Luck, those kind of guys?
I mean,
Tannehill, Dalton, I'd both fire over him. Luck, I'd probably even do Luck over him this week.
I mean, he still put up crazy numbers against. He put up crazy numbers against Philly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Philly
I mean,
has a
well,
great defense, but
I mean, it was week 1. No one really has game plan tape. Philly has a good D. He did put up good numbers, but I don't see him going for another 400-yard game and 3 touchdowns.
Sure, I don't think
Maybe
he'll
just
go for
temper the
400 yards.
expectations because the Bears defense they're gonna finish like top 5 probably.
Yeah, I mean they've
Well, most likely, if you have Fitzpatrick, you got him off the waiver wire, which most likely means that you have another quarterback. There hasn't really been a crazy quarterback injury besides Jimmy G. So most likely you have another option on your bench.
Yeah, for sure.
You know
Yeah,
what
I
I
agree.
mean?
You're 100% right with that, bro. You're fucking wicked smart over there, bro.
Dog, the protons and neutrons are fucking spit.
Bro, the
fire,
fucking
rapid
sun's
fire
hat,
into my
dog.
brain, bro. Anyways, let's go over to what are we talking about?
All right, so the
players?
receivers then. How do you feel about the receivers?
Mike Evans, you're starting Mike Evans.
Yeah.
I know
Hashtag
Chris Godwin's.
Bobby.
I know Chris Godwin's been off to a hot start. He's had a touchdown in every game. He's getting a lot of targets, but like I said, I don't. He hasn't been a really high yardage that he's been getting in the end zone. I think Fitzpatrick's going to have a hard time in this matchup, so I wouldn't really feel comfortable starting Godwin in this. I'd probably look elsewhere if I could. Deshaun Jackson.
yeah.
I mean, he's always one play and boom, but if he doesn't hit those one play last week, he might have only had 4 points.
Yeah, he's a boomer bust guy.
And a matchup where I don't see Fitzpatrick throwing for these crazy yardage totals. I mean, he had a bad first half and 3 quarters, and then the Steelers were just up so much that the game script, he had to basically go out there and get garbage time touchdowns and yards. I just think this is going to be a real test for him in Chicago. I'm thinking more he's in the range of 250, so the only one I really feel comfortable starting is Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike Evans set it and forget it every week. For those receivers, I'm not sure about how I feel about Godwin. Deshaun could be like a flex, like if you need a boom or bust, like if you need a week, like you're saying, you're already down from this Thursday night game. You need a player who can give you, a big game. Maybe you throw Deshaun out there and try to get that high ceiling.
Yeah. OJ Howard, actually, I wouldn't mind OJ Howard. Tight end's ugly when it comes down to it. And OJ Howard is probably like, outside of maybe Kelsey, he's maybe like one with a few tight ends that could take a pass and turn it into a 70-yard touchdown. So he always has boom potential in OJ Howard. So I don't think you're benching him at this point. He's been getting steady targets, and the snap count's been pretty high for him. So.
Yeah, I think I saw a stat where he's had like a touchdown or 50-plus receiving yards in 7 of the last 8 games. So, and Brait is out, isn't he?
I don't know. I didn't read that.
Yeah, I think Brait might be out. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But, I mean, like you're saying, the tight end landscape, it's just so thin. I mean, once you get past like maybe those first 6-7 guys, like after that, it's bleak. So you kind of just, you're throwing, it's hard. You're for sure going to start him.
And then he has upside that most tight ends don't. I mean, he can go over 100 yards.
Yeah.
And make a big catch or two. So.
Yeah. As far as the running backs, Ronald Jones just doesn't even play.
Yeah,
He shouldn't even be on your roster. I don't care.
I mean,
Yeah,
Peyton
drop
Barber
him
isn't
off.
getting it done at this point either.
Yeah.
It's basically an all passing team.
Yeah.
I mean, you're hoping maybe he falls into the end zone if you have. I look at him as like what you said with Crowell is like you have to like you're in a running back pinch, and yes, he's going to get volume. He's going to get 20 carries. You know, he might rush for 2.8 and get 50 yards. You know, he might catch a pass or two, and, you know, they're not going to score 90 touchdowns through the air and no rushing touchdowns. I mean, eventually the team's going to score a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe you get a little lucky this week, and you know, Mike Evans goes out at the 1, and, you know, Peyton Barber gets a rushing touchdown for you.
Yeah. So the Bears, they allow the fewest points to running backs so far this year. So I would be sitting Peyton Barber if I had him.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even want Peyton Barber on my team. That'd be why. If you have Peyton Barber on your team, just go ahead, butter knife.
If you got Peyton Barber on your fucking team, get the fuck out of here.
You know what's going to happen is Peyton Barber is going to rush for like 120 and 2 touchdowns.
Then trade him. After that, you fucking trade him. You package deal him, and you get someone better.
So on the Chicago side, you start Mitch Trubisky.
Definitely not.
Jordan Howard, you're firing up.
Yeah, I love Jordan Howard.
You know, he hasn't had the sexiest big blow up game yet, but I think this is a game where he could. And what's nice is he's actually getting targets and receptions too. I think he's got at least 20 yards in each game and 2 receptions in every game. So, you know, that's something you're not used to getting from him, and you're getting that. You know, he's gonna get this. I see the Bears competitive in this game, so you got to figure he's another 20 carry guy. So he's an RB1 in this matchup.
Yeah, I love Jordan Howard. I think everyone was worried about Cohen being the main pass catcher there, but I think Jordan Howard has more catches and more targets than Cohen does.
Yeah, I believe he does. I'm going to look at it right now, too.
So for the Trey Burton, I think this is a big Trey Burton game. Finally, I think it comes out, and the Buccaneers defense is just terrible. Like I said, it's like the Falcons defense. It's going to be one of those defenses where it's just like you're playing majority of the players who are playing these defenses because they're just so bad. And I think this is a big Trey Burton game right here.
Yeah, I think it's a nice Trey Burton game, too. Anthony Miller's hurt, too. He's banged up, and they kind of work in the same part of the field, so that should only open, you know, some more of those, some more targets for Trey Burton. Allen Robinson, I mean, he's a volume.
Yeah, wide receiver too. You know me, I'm not a big Allen Robinson guy either. I don't like him, but I think he's a solid wide receiver too this week.
Yeah, I mean, he saw at least 7 targets in every game, and, you know, this Bucs D isn't good.
They just have nobody. They just lost their other safety, like Chris Conti. He's out for the year, or he's on IR or something like that. Grimes is their best corner, but he's old. He's got to be like 30-something, 30, I don't even know. So,
yeah, and then
I like Allen
Bro,
Robinson.
that is old 30, dude.
Fuck you, bro.
Dude,
taking shots. Bears D are firing up.
Bears D, firing it up for sure.
Bears D, you'll fire
Bears
it
D.
up.
Pick Patrick coming at you
Anything
live.
else? Anything else you want to put on that game?
No, sir.
No.
Next.
Okay, let's go. This is going to be the last game we're going to go over right now. It's the Philadelphia Eagles in Tennessee against the Titans.
It's in Tennessee, or I thought it was in Philly.
It's in Tennessee.
In Philly.
In Philly. That's a fallacy, dude.
Wait, I'm so confused. I thought it
It's
was
a fallacy to believe it's in Philadelphia, you fucking numbnuts. It's in Tennessee, bro. At least unless this website's yelling at me and telling me the wrong things and not telling me the truth.
Mike, are you high right now? I don't understand. I think it's in Philly.
No, bro. It's why? Okay, dude. It says at Tennessee. What the fuck do you think that means,
All right, so it's at Philly.
Is that their Twitter handle, at Tennessee?
dude?
So Tennessee. I mean,
do some hacks.
I don't feel comfortable starting Mariota. You know, he's. I feel like he's starting by necessity because what's the backup's name?
Blaine Gabbert.
Blaine Gabbert got concussed. So I feel like they have no choice but to start him. He's not at 100%. I wouldn't be starting him in this matchup at Philly. It's a tough.
Oh, look,
defense.
another website that says it's at Tennessee, dude.
Oh,
It's
nice,
at Philly?
thanks. That's what we have you here for. But you get
Turbo,
the stats.
Turbo
What's in
no
fast,
computer
bro.
in front of him over there is telling me that he fucking knows where the games are at. Dude, no, I got I'm the fucking scientist. I got the science computer right here, and it tells me where it's at. It's in goddamn Tennessee.
Thanks, bro. You're fucking wicked smart, bro.
Sorry, bro.
I appreciate you.
Upset. I was sorry for yelling, dude. You don't
For me,
deserve that.
on the Titan side of the ball, the only player I'm probably feeling confident playing is Deion Lewis. And even then, I'm not super confident playing Deion Lewis. Yeah, I don't like Mariota. They have no tight end. They have Corey Davis. I guess if you want to throw Corey Davis out there in your flex,
Yeah, I think he's like a flex option this
then
week.
yeah, I mean you might have to. But the
He's seeing,
Eagles
like-
defense is really good. So
He's seeing like 40% of the team targets
Yeah.
or some stupid number like that. You know, he's just basically all they have. So I feel more comfortable with him in a PPR versus standard. This way you're not banking on a touchdown. You know, in a PPR, maybe he's able to get 5-6 catches off of 10-11 targets.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's definitely gonna get the volume.
Yeah, and like you said, I don't really feel comfortable with Derrick Henry. He doesn't catch the ball.
Dude, Derrick Henry is on waivers in a lot of my leagues.
Yeah, the
I think he's only
Eagles.
like 30%
The Eagles
owned.
actually allow the fewest rushing yards in the NFL right now. So I would not start Derrick Henry. And that's why I said I feel even scared starting Deion Lewis.
Yeah.
But I think the one area that the Eagles kind of do struggle in is pass catching running backs. So, and I don't know why they're not using Deion Lewis more in like space and throwing him the ball more. Rashad Matthews. He has to be
cut
released.
himself.
Yeah, he cut himself since he's his own agent.
He's like, all right.
So maybe that opens up the door for either Tywan Taylor in the future, or maybe Deion Lewis gets a little bit more active in the passing game. So,
And then over to the Philly side, you're starting Ertz in this matchup. You're starting. I feel like Wentz is a low end quarterback one in my mind this week.
yeah.
I think you're starting Wentz. You can feel comfortable starting him if you have him.
Yeah.
The running back situation, Ajayi has like some spinal issues. Spinal. He's broke his back. He's got a fracture in his back. So I don't know if he's going to be playing this week. It's kind of a pain tolerance thing too. So if he's out, Corey Clement's a good RB2 flex option in this matchup. If he's in, do you feel comfortable starting him, or do you think it's something where you bench him because you're afraid of that back flaring up and you don't want him, put him in there and he comes out after a few handoffs or something like that?
I mean, in one of my leagues, I'm kind of in a decision between Ajayi and Deion Lewis. I'm stuck on it. I don't know who to start in that one. I mean, he has a fracture in his back. That doesn't sound very good for a running back who, with his style of running, he's very aggressive and he's like a bruiser. I don't know. I mean, it's like the McCoy thing. Does he get hit in the back and then now he's sitting out and gives me 2 points like Dalvin Cook did this week? So I'm a little nervous on that. I think if he's in the game, I mean, they said they want to give him the ball when he's in the game, so we'll see. I need to see it. I need to see it first before I believe it. But they talking about if he's there, they need to feed him the ball 15 to 20 times a game. So I think you have to. There's some buys, some injuries.
Yeah, you could be in a pinch.
RB2 flex guy.
How do you feel about maybe someone who's in a tight end pinch with Dallas Goedert if there's no Alshon this game?
I think that was more of like you saw the potential Goddard has. I don't think that's a every week thing that's going to happen. The Tennessee's defense is actually pretty good. Like I think they're pretty good.
Yeah.
They're not like some scrub defense like the Falcons or the Bucks or the Steelers.
Yeah, I wouldn't really be chasing points with Goddard. I mean,
All right, dude. Our secondary is bad, but it's like,
Just kidding.
come on, man.
yeah, I wouldn't recommend really starting.
They're
him
saying
chasing
Alshon Jeffrey could make his season debut. So yeah, he's been practicing.
Would you start him in this matchup, or would you wait and see?
I would. I think if he's out there, I mean, he's obviously out there for a reason. I don't think they would just throw him out there if he wasn't ready to play, or I don't think they would throw him out there as a decoy. So
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't do that.
He's, if he's out there.
It's not like they would do that to like Dalvin Cook or something.
But would they?
I think Dalvin Cook's thing could have been like maybe he re-aggravated the hammy a little bit, so they what I'm saying?
I think that's what it came down to.
Alshon's was like a shoulder injury, but he's supposedly fully recovered from it. So I mean, he can still run, and that's. So yeah, I mean, I have Alshon Jeffrey in the league, and if he's gonna play on Sunday, then he's gonna be in my lineup.
Yeah, I agree. If I don't have him in any leagues, but if I did, I'd start him this week if I had him.
Yeah.
Nelson Aguilar, you think if he comes back, it downgrades him a little bit?
I think.
Well, he seemed to get his lowest target total with Wentz last week too, so I don't know if that's something that's gonna.
I feel like Nelson was someone who was good with Foles.
That could have been game script though, because I think Ertz and Goddard had really big games.
It's
so maybe that's
targets.
just like maybe that's just like the weakness for that who they played, the Colts, I believe it was.
Yeah,
maybe that's just like that was the game script. That let's work the middle of the field. They can't cover it.
And he was pretty consistent last year with Wentz because I tried trading for him in a few leagues because I just wanted a consistent flex. There's a lot of games where he actually outdid Alshon. So
yeah, I think Alshon coming back helps him because now that's another person you have to game script for. You have to game plan for him. You got to cover Alshon. When Alshon's not out there, they have nobody out there. It's Nelson Aguilar and Ertz. That's why Ertz has been getting crazy high targets. That's why Goddard probably got crazy high targets because there is no other receivers out there besides Aguilar. So I think Alshon coming back actually helps Aguilar. Aguilar finished as the wide receiver 21 last year with Wentz. So I like Aguilar. I think he's a solid flex guy.
yeah, I agree. And then Eagles D, we're starting them. This
Eagles
matchup.
D? Yeah, I started Eagles D.
Yeah, we
sure,
don't even
yeah.
know if Mariota's elbow is
I like Eagles
100%,
D.
so I'd probably go with Eagles
Yeah, I'm
D.
definitely dialing up Eagles D.
All right.
All right, that
Giggity,
sounds
giggity.
good. Okay, so that's it. That's it for this one. Appreciate you guys listening. I just want to do a quick thing, real quick. If you haven't already, go check us out on Twitter, dude. You listen to us this far, you might as well go on fucking iTunes and write us a review. Give us 5 stars. Give us no stars. Actually, don't do that. Give us 5 stars. But all that stuff's appreciated, and we give like updates, especially on our Instagram. We're gonna start posting more clips and stuff like that on there. I feel like I say this every week, but we really do post a lot of good information on there, and waiver pickups and just who to start, who to sit right before the game. If you're unsure, go check out our Instagram. We'll help you out there. And that's pretty much it. You know, you listened. You're pretty much the smartest guy in your fantasy league now, because you heard us talk, and we're so smart and stuff. We're so smart, we make other people look not smart. That's how smart we are.
So first half of the games, listen to the next episode where we break down the other half of the games.
Yeah, so from now on, we're gonna go over the 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time games and the Monday night matchup on the next episode. Appreciate you guys listening. And we are out. We're out like fucking rainbow trout, dude. Best types of trouts. Rainbow. Gay people love 'em.